Good morning, and happy Thursday. Yes, welcome back to my Facebook live stream. I'm here between Monday to Friday between 11 to 11:30 a.m. My name is Jimmy Cheng. I'm a professional photographer, filmmaker, and an Olympus ambassador. So I'm here to talk about photography and filmmaking, or anything in general. If you want to ask me about your camera lenses, settings and stuff like that, anything you want to learn, or things that you got stuck, you want to try to resolve this problem you have with your photography and filmmaking, you are here in the right place and ask me the right question and I'll be able to answer you. Okay, cool. Right. Thank you and welcome back. If you guys are new here, just mentioned my name is Jimmy Cheng, and just in case, because I just saw that people are just about joining, and so I will repeat once again, my name is Jimmy Cheng, and I am a professional photographer and filmmaker, also an Olympus ambassador. So you can ask me anything about photography and filmmaking, or anything relating to these cameras, Olympus, or in general about photography. You don't know what shutter speed is, what aperture, whatever, and if you want to ask anything, please come here, drop me a comment, I'll be able to answer you. But if you're new to my live stream, I usually have a topic of the day, and this is something that I would like to discuss. It could be anything between technical to something a bit more fun and fundamentals, and to something quite deep and philosophical. So today, maybe we are a little bit on the deep side. So let me show you what I am intending to do today. So let's give you something. I'm going to show you some pictures as well, which is going to be quite cool. So where's the topic? There we go. There. Okay. So of course, once again, if you are new here, we have a structure just like this. We've got three things to talk about. First of all, I will give you some general updates, and because the live stream is public, so that means anyone in the world can view this. And I will also want to utilize this opportunity to give all my friends and family around the world to know that we are doing just fine in London. So this is very important for me to give kind of like a daily update for them as well. Of course, I'll give you some update in terms of myself as a professional guy, and also what happens in London, and for my YouTube channel as well, even though that I do have a official YouTube live every Wednesday between 3 to 3:45 p.m. in London. So you're welcome to tune in for that particular live show as well, because I will talk about something quite a bit different to what I do on this daily stream stuff. So anyway, that's kind of what I want to say. And but of course, you guys have you guys heard about Captain Tom? I want to say, of course, happy 100th birthday. Like, he's just an amazing guy. He helped our NHS raise just under 30 million pounds, and that's really an amazing achievement. And of course, today is his birthday. We had the fly past, free war jet, and just flew over him. And also he also got an honourable appointment to being a colonel. So he's promoted from being a captain to colonel now. So what a present for a 100-year-old, right? And don't forget, he also became the oldest person who became got the #1 in our music chart. He in his birthday, one of his birthday racing a campaign, he did a song with Michael Ball, and then that single got released, and then somehow he was on the chart and became #1. Wow, what an achievement! It's just amazing to see that, right? And it's definitely a very positive thing to hear, and also to see. It just makes you feel a lot better. So I think that whatever he did, I think it helps everybody, not just in the UK, not just in London, but I think everywhere in the world. He also received over 130,000 birthday cards from around the world. So that's how far he reached all those people, and it's amazing. I think it's an amazing achievement, and nobody will ever forget about him. Perfect, guys. So happy birthday, Tom. That's very fantastic, and I hope you have a great day today. So cool. So let's go back to topic of the day. Like I mentioned, it's a little bit deeper today. What do you want from your photography? This is kind of what I want to say. Let me just switch off this topic thing here, because this is live, but like I mentioned, and anything could happen. A little bit random. Of course, I'm doing at home. I can see that I got some stuff here. I really do like my egg roll, and but unfortunately, we can't buy them anymore in the UK for some reasons, and that's why I keep the tin here, just to remind myself how yummy they are. But anyway, so it's really something that I want to talk about, because I get asked a lot about this question, and they always come up to me a lot of different, because I run workshop for Olympus, I run other personal workshop for training upcoming photographers and filmmakers, and they always ask me similar questions. So I'm trying to group them together and give you some overviews and what I think about what you should be understanding in terms of photography and filmmaking, and what you should be doing, what you should think about your work, what you should be focusing on, right? Good morning, Brana. Wow, you changed your thumbnail. Excellent. Thank you. Yes, yeah, of course, stay safe, and everyone, of course, this pandemic at the moment is all around the world. It's not just an isolated incident. It's happening everywhere. So like, you guys have to stay safe. There's nothing more than health, right? Okay, that's the most important thing. So let's go back to photography, the philosophy of photography, more like. So these people always come up to me and ask me the same question. And what should I do, or what should I set the camera to achieve what you just did? Or you show me all these pictures here, how do I get them? So what I see is a lot of how, yeah, but I never really question about what. And then, so this is something I need you to start asking yourself now. I know how is definitely very important, and because that will get you the shot, right? But at the same time, I can also argue that like a lot of the modern day digital cameras now, especially, they are all computerized. They are very clever now. They have face detect, eye detect, they have auto ISO and aperture priority. You name it. The metering now is so precise. They can even base and prioritize faces for exposure. So like you can almost get a perfect shot every single time. Even in auto mode. So if that is the case, that you now have, it's never been a better time to actually understand photography more, than the old days. In the old days, you really do have to learn all the basics first, because you have to get the shot first. But nowadays, you have that automations to guide you, to assist you to capture that particular shot. You can, so you don't have to worry about too much in terms of getting this shot right or wrong. But what I want you to ask you is that, what do you want in photography? Right, and a lot of people would still probably be puzzled because they may be new to photography. They don't quite understand what they need. But just overall, like when you pick up a camera, when you pick up a camera, what do you do with it? Do you just go around the garden chasing for bugs, or you just like to hold the camera whenever you go traveling? Like not anything else, but like just travel. Do you take the camera only for your travel, or you just like to hold your camera every time you go out on the street, or go hiking? Something like that is already kind of setting the tones there. Like is your interest, and you just have to focus on that. A lot of people become too much of a generalist. They're trying to be good at everything, and but in my book, it's really, really difficult to be really good at all the genre, in photography. I want to be really good at macro. I want to be really good at landscape. I want to be really good at street photography, wedding, portrait, whatever, you name it. It's impossible. Like I do a lot of photos myself. I do shoot street, I shoot wedding, yes. But I cannot say I myself being a super macro photographer. I definitely cannot be a nighttime, night sky or what do you call those, astrophotographers, or even a sports photographer. I'm not that type of photographer. So like, if you give me a camera with all those massive features and big lenses, I probably won't be able to perform. But what I'm good at is dealing with things with people. So like, like portraits, documentaries, weddings, and these are kind of my interests. I like to dig into people's personality and trying to open them up and create my work around them. And so it's something that I'm keen to learn, very keen to perfect, in that way. So this is something that you really should asking yourself, what do you really want, or what do you like to become, when you hold the camera, and that actually may not be a bad idea as well, because you can focus on gears that you really need. Because for instance, if you want to only doing astrophotography, there are only a few lenses you may need. You don't really need like long tele lenses. If you're wildlife, of course, you do need one of those big lenses, and but at the same time, you may not need a wide angle, for instance. So yeah, you know, it really has helped you in many ways once you know what you want in photography. So you can start narrowing down not only for skill sets that you want to acquire and perfect, but also gears that you may need to acquire over time. Save you buckets of money, because you don't want to get everything, right? You know, I'm in a slightly different situation because I do test gears, so I have acquired a lot of gears just because I need to show the differences between this and that, you know, so forth. You know, so there's a lot of things I need to do. But in general, you know, before I became a YouTuber, before I became what I am today, when I was wedding guy, and I only had about 4 or 5 lenses, and that was it really, and that was kind of my workhorse kit, and I didn't need more than that. So this is something that you really need to truly understand. But I think something that I really would like to highlight to you guys about some of the Olympus features that are really cool though is, I mean, I know a lot of you guys who are watching me on YouTube and even here on Facebook, is that Olympus camera do give you a lot of automations, and that will allow you to achieve shot with minimum effort. The likes of like live composite, live bulb, and also pro captures, and the latest EM1 Mark III we have the Starry Sky for astrophotography. These are fantastic tools. I still remember the days when I used the older DSLRs, when they had none of these, you know, all the, let's say, extra long exposure shot at nighttime. It was more of a guesswork, because, you know, I can't see images being built up on the screen as it comes, and then I just have to guess, you know, oh, would 30-second work or with 25-second work? And then very often I'll just get this shot either underexposed or overexposed, and yeah, until you get to a point that you're just so familiar with the lighting. Like I said, you know, I'm not a nighttime photographer, so I'm not really dealing with that a lot. Even though that I play with it every now and then, but I'm just not a professional nighttime cityscape or landscape or astrophotographer. So this sort of thing is really beyond my knowledge. So but it's really good that now you have kind of like the live composite and live bulb built into the all the Olympus cameras here, and to achieve that sort of photograph, you know, perfect exposed photographs is very simple. And you can even see at the back of the screen, you know, like you can see the image is actually slowly building up, and so you know exactly when you want to stop the exposure and get that perfectly exposed photograph. So that's really cool. And oh, Brana sends a message. Let's see. Just send my EM1 Mark II for service. Change the front right. Oh, right. Okay, so yeah, that's another thing. And oh, did you, Brana, did you send it to your official Olympus channel for the service? Because in the UK, I think I kind of mentioned either in YouTube or previous Facebook Live that the Olympus do have what they call the professional service. Yes, they will actually service your camera to the point that they will change out anything that is, let's say coming off from the camera, and also if any of the button that's completely worn off, like becomes shiny, or some of the text becoming gone, and they will replace it for you. Or yeah, it's amazing what they do. So you almost guarantee you end up with a camera coming back to your hand that looks almost like a new camera. It's something that is rather unheard of. I mean, I've used other camera system before, and when it goes to service, they simply just clean them. And you know, obviously that's essential, right? You know, just cleaning camera is also important as a maintenance point of view. But Olympus really go one step further. They really do change bits, you know, that is worn off. So during the durations with the that service agreement, you can send in your camera and lenses you know, once a year to have it serviced. That's really good. I mean, I think the time would take about between 2 to 3 weeks, depending on what sort of package you have. You know, but it is pretty good. You know, so like let's say during winter time you're not doing too much, send a camera in for service, and you come back with almost like a new looking camera, and you know, it's pretty awesome, right? Okay, so I'm going to start showing you some pictures, yeah, and I'll take a crap answer for today, and she's so. Really? I'm pretty sure it's not a crap photo, yeah. And you know what? I do all my all my household, yeah, my family passport photo ourselves. You know, I just basically, you know, because like you see, I had a very nice blank wall here. So like, all I need to do is just aim the camera in and then just take some photos for the passport. I did it for my latest passport as well in his house, and but every time I do it, it's very simple. And you don't have to pay like these extortionate amount of money. You have to go outside the shop and take these passport photos. I don't know how much they charge in your country or your place, but in the UK, I think they charge quite a bit. I think that £12 or £15 for passport photos. And I can do it in seconds. So yeah, something that I'm definitely not gonna give it to other people to do. Right. Anyway, so I will start showing you some pictures. Yeah. No, so like remember I talked about like what do you want from photography. So like for me it's more like I want to capture people related stuff, and including my own family. And of course, like since I have kids, I would just like to document them growing up, and I like to see their happy emotions whenever we go out, and just capture these cute moments that I found with them. And it's just something that I really enjoy. Just looking, and just amazing to see them grow at the same time. It's good. These photos are basically what I took a couple of years back now. So obviously they are a little bit bigger, and also like also things that I see when I go travel. And similarly, I'll involve people because I always like a little bit of life in my photos. So it makes it look less staged, and it just generally gives me a sense of being there as well. So I really enjoy just like seeing places with people and their daily lives, the way of life and everything, the traffic, the films and everything, that everything that comes with that city or wherever I travel to. So that's very important. And then of course places like these as well, give me just like a different perspective when I'm sitting in a car. I just shoot through the windows or something like that, and again, it's more of how people live in that place, and is something that I really enjoy kind of documenting. I know, in about 15-20 years time, when you look back at these photos, I'll be amazed how much has changed. If I ever go back to the same place again and compare the photos, I'm pretty sure they will have more values than you may actually imagine. Because I did the same thing when I went to China some years ago now. But before that, I took 2 photos there in China. At the exact same place. One was in the I believe it was the early 80s, and then the last one was the 2011, the 2011. And so there was about 30, almost 30 years difference. Same place, but it was completely changed. So these values is unimaginable. People who grow up in the city may not actually aware of the changes, and they might sort of somehow remember, oh yeah, that wasn't there before, but you're not realizing how much has changed until you actually have a photo side by side to see things, the actual changes. And again, you see these things, in Cuba that I took a couple of years back now, and you can see on the right hand side the street that they live in, these sort of like daily life things. It may all change by the time I go there next, maybe 10, 15 years later, it will be completely modernized, and you won't see things like that anymore. And it is something that I really would love to capture and just remember for life. There's so much value there. It's like Martin Parr once said, like things that I'm taking today may not seem have any sort of values to anybody, but being a documentary photographer, value doesn't come instantly. Values increase exponentially as time moves on. So this is how he says things, and then how he captures his life. And I do believe in him, and I do believe that theory, because a lot of things we capture today, and just like some of the History Channel. If you go to History Channel and see some of these old documentaries about any cities, they always show you some of the older pictures and things like that, and you just kind of amazed, wow, that looks so cool, looks so different back then, isn't it? You wow for that photos, and even though at the time when the guy who took that photo, they probably say, oh well, you're just taking a shot from that angle of the harbor, whatever, the river or the city. It's nothing special. But then in time, when you go back at it, yeah, you'll be amazed. And this is one of the projects I'm actually working on at the moment, and it's about a place that I grew up in, Hong Kong, and I'm not going to release too much detail, but this is the project I've been doing for the last 11 years and still ongoing. And I will have to go back to Hong Kong maybe another 2 to 3 years time just to go back to the same place and take some more photos again to conclude the project if that place is completed. So I just have to wait and see how far that place has been developed, and then because it's a currently is doing a renovation project at the moment, so I'm just waiting for all that to complete. That would be the final stage. And of course, some humor in my photos every now and then. I'm not really a humorous guy in a way, and I wouldn't say I'm a boring guy, but I do like to include a little bit of humor in my shot. Not so much of a street photography sense, but then something like these. The seagull was obviously waiting for any leftovers from people who were eating lunch at the time, and also just general things like these. And of course, it's a fishing harbor. You're going to see a lot of tools that the fishermen use on a daily basis, and these are things that I kind of enjoy capturing details as well. So like you can have a series of photographs that relating to people's life and also local people and whatever they do. So it's part of me, part of my mission to capture all these and document all these changes and their way of life, the personalities and all this stuff. It all goes with it. It has to have some sort of consistency in terms of things that you want to do. Of course, this is part of the series when I was doing in the southwest of England, and it's just a small town, and it's really amazing to have a pub facing the sea. It's really amazing place. So yeah, these are kind of like the things that's for me in terms of how I see photography. So that's what I want to become, is to capture and remember people. This is one of the reasons I treat weddings as part of my documentary project, and so every weddings I go to, I just like to capture all those moments for the bride and grooms, and so they can remember things for life. At the same time, I'm happy doing so because I enjoy that process of documenting people's it's something that I truly believe the values within it, and so what I'm trying to ask you guys is to think about what you want to become as a photographer. Every time you hold on the camera, and what sort of thing you would like to do with your lens and your camera body. Stop thinking about too much, like how to set it up, because you can learn that afterward, and like a lot of people, I always said, if you have an eye, because it's all about your brain and your eye, how you see the world, So it's quite easy for me to tell whether someone is a good photographer or bad photographer. I know things can be improved through hard work. You have to learn about basic theory like composition, rule of third, all the other stuff. But there is some fundamentals. There are some basic talents that can be shown even without using like sophisticated equipment. And some iPhone photos that I saw is fantastic. I can see how people see things differently when they actually look at the photos, how they compose and do the angles. Not just one photo, one photo can't tell too much about it. Sometimes it can be lucky, but if I view a whole series of photos from one person, I would almost guaranteed to see the talent behind it. If I can see that eyes that he has on certain subjects and things like that, and then of course once you have that, and that means that you can now start and go into the more specific settings to further your skill set and perfect your skills in capturing those photos in a more artistic way, so to speak. And so it's important to first understand yourself, then look at the world in your direction, in your own eyes, and then after that you can start perfecting skills. So, how can I perfect that shot even further? How to improve that shot? Maybe I should do a little bit of motion blur there. Maybe I should using shallow depth of field. Maybe I should capture the light slightly differently. And how should I do that? How should I approach that? That's in the time that when you start looking at settings and other things. It's not that I don't urge you to understand the basic of photography, like understand exposure triangle or like shutter speed, aperture, ISO, and these stuff. You need to understand them. But for me, I think it's more important to train your eyes first. So like a lot of people, when they ask me about, oh, how do you learn about filmmaking? You know, do you start learning all these frame rates and, you know, resolutions and all these panning, whatever things? And no, I said no. Train your eyes first. You know, like even put in auto, just press the record button, just the film. I just want to see how you see things, and then how you learn from things that you see already. Let's say some movies or some other people's work, and how you digest all those information and translate it in your own way. So I want to see that. Once I see that's happening, then you can start going into slightly more technical stuff and start learning about frame rate or all the other stuff. Similarly in photography, if you start seeing things capturing even with your iPhone, you know, that doesn't really matter, right? And just look at your work and then say, oh, that looks pretty nice. Maybe I can process it with a little bit of this and that, and oh, maybe if I can just isolate this subject, may look a little bit better. And that you're starting to ask the question. You're starting to ask the right questions, yeah. Then you can start thinking, maybe I need to change the camera. Maybe I need to use a better camera or better lens or shallow depth of field. I need a big aperture. Maybe I need to use a longer lens for better compression. And maybe I should be looking at better lights in general. So it's a lot to ask, but you know, a lot of people have been asking just wrong questions. You know, they ask me a lot about, oh, what's your shutter speed to take that picture? What is your aperture settings? I don't think it matters, because you probably won't be able to capture the same shot anyway, even if I tell you the setting, because that shot just cannot be replicated. I mean, unless it's in the studio, because then the studio is different. You have full control of all the exposures. But if you're, let's say, if you're doing on the street, if you go out and do extra photography, street photography, you really can't replicate that shot, you know, ever. That's only one moment, and that's it. You know, it won't happen again. So for that, you know, you really have to understand it's pointless to ask people, how did you capture, I mean, what sort of technical setting you have on your camera to capture that shot. It doesn't really matter. And that's why I'd rather just show you the effect and show you the result you can get from that lens, you know, and rather than just telling you, oh, set the camera to ISO 500 and aperture 2.8 and then shutter speed 1/500. Really does not matter. And then because if you understand what I just said earlier about understanding photography, understanding the right question, then it's better that way. So that's it. That's kind of things that I want to talk to you guys about, and I think hopefully it's a little bit deep today, I know, and maybe a little bit harder to digest. So think deeper and just take it slow. You know, photography, we've got a lot of time now. We must well start thinking how to improve your game in photography and filmmaking. And like I mentioned, in Olympus camera do have a lot of features that are really cool. If you do have one of those and you start to play around the live bulb, live com stuff at night time, and I guarantee you'll be amazed with that. Of course, it's got stabilization, which is pretty cool as well. So that's it, folks. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today, and my birds for the yeah, well, that's it. Patience is another thing, right, Burana? And then a lot of photos is not, you know, just there and just snap it. You know, something you do require a huge amount of patience to take a shot. Street photography, you know, people might think is easy, you know, and a lot of the time you actually have to wait for that really signature moment. You know, you may found a very perfect location with the perfect lighting, but without that subject, you know, like walking past or whatever in the right spot at the right time, and it won't work. The shot just won't work. So you have to wait for everything to just come together, and then you snap that in the right time. That's the typical part of street photography, and also require a lot of patience. So you just have to stand there and just kind of wait. Most of the time, you just have to kind of hold it up. You know, you just have to wait. Probably like it could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes, could be 15 minutes until something does happen. You get, yeah, cool. You take a few shots, and hopefully one of them will turn up at that really kind of perfect moments, and then you get the shot. So it is difficult, I must say. And so yeah, birds, same thing. You know, a lot of animal shots, and it takes a huge amount of effort. You know, that's what I do admire these wildlife photographers and the macro photographers. The patience that they have is immense. You know, like it's just really awesome that, you know, they have that kind of like patience in them, you know, just to wait for that, you know, and still they they seems that the longer they wait, the more anticipated they are, and the more energy they get. You know, that's kind of like really work the opposite. Yeah, you know, a lot of people would just say, oh man, it's too long, it's getting bored now. You know, maybe I should move on. But no, sometimes, you know, you see these photographers, they just really kind of like just like the eyes are so wide open. So, oh man, it's coming. You know, it's really awesome. You know, I just have to wait for it. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna get that shot. It's gonna be epic. You know, gonna be epic. Like they get lots and lots of energy, and yeah, it's something I believe is actually pretty cool. So, you know, if you got any question, of course you can drop in the comment section, and then I'll be able to answer them. If not, I'm gonna just continue chatting for about a couple of minutes. I'm gonna end today's stream. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow between 11 and 11:30 a.m. GMT London time. I got itchy nose. I got hay fever, and so hopefully that I'll chat to you guys tomorrow as well. And don't forget, I'm here between Monday to Friday. Yes, that's right, daily stream. And this will continue until this lockdown finishes, so I can go back out to work. And but you know, I think you know, I'll probably still do a lot of lives after the pandemic. I'll probably still continue to do, even though I start going back out to work. I'll reschedule something. I'll try to work something out so that we can keep in touch like this. I think it's quite fun. I quite enjoy this, right? And but my YouTube live is going to stay on, so you guys will definitely catch me there on YouTube. So I'll be there for the foreseeable future, because the channel is going to evolve slightly because all these pandemic issues, and it needs to adapt to some sort of new way of working. I'll be going a little bit less than normal until everything really is gone, you know, and then back to normal. Then I'll be able to like kind of go back to full speed in terms of shooting outside on the street with models and stuff like that. But I'll try to get to some sort of normality. Hopefully it won't be too long, and because I do miss the interaction with all my collaborators and models and everybody. So I'm really hoping I can go out again and shoot with them again, and also give you some entertainment. This is part of my plan for this year, just to bring you guys even more entertainment for what I do on the channel. So that's something that I'm hoping to get something done, but unlikely it's going to be this year, so we may have to push that a little bit later, maybe towards the end of the year or next year now, by the look of it. Well, we never know. Never say never. And hopefully that the lockdown is going to be eased very soon, and the next, I don't know, month or so. But in the meantime, I do wish everybody good health. You know, fantastic. You know, just stay home, keep the distance, and you know, just save everybody. You know, I know it's hard. You know, like myself included, I found it extremely difficult not to be able to interact with people and talk to other people, going out even just for a walk. You know, it's extremely difficult. And also being a content creator like myself, you know, like it's really frustrating that I'm kind of confined in a box and I can't really do too much. But you know, this is what I'm doing now. I'm teaching you guys a lot of stuff and hopefully sharing my own experience as a professional for the last 15 years, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And if you do have any question, don't forget to ask me. You can either PM me, follow my Instagram, which is right, where is it? This way, yes, there. You can follow all my links there. That's my social links there. Follow me there. You can ask me questions, drop me a PM, anywhere, either Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, YouTube, you name it. And of course, I do have my coffee link there. You can buy me a coffee. Yay! And thank you for all those who already bought me coffees, and it's amazing. Tastes very nice. And thank you very much. So yes, I'm gonna end today's vlog now. Not vlog, stream. So we'll see you again tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be another fun topic. If you do have any specific you want me to talk about, please don't be shy. Just drop some comments on the, down below, and ask me stuff, and I will put up as a topic and talk about it. Right? It's nothing better than a nice chat in the morning for half an hour. You know, it's good to be in touch, and that's what I like. You know, human contact, even though it's virtual, but it's still very good, right? Okay, excellent. So I'm gonna end today's stream now, and I hope you guys well once again, and see you guys tomorrow.